Okay, good afternoon, folks. I hope everyone is well. It is the 30th of April, last day of April today, first day of May tomorrow. Unbelievable, isn't it? Speedy, how you doing, bud? Okay, we are about a minute away from the open. We've had some news this morning. As you can see, I traded two valuations. I did them with an OCO order, so I put a short, a long up here, and a short down here. Whichever one it hits first, it cancels the other, and it shot straight down and past the two. So all good. So I'm also trading this. I'll show you quickly. This it's like the Alpine type strategy. So I'm just playing around with it really on a sim. So I set those orders. Let's see what happens now. So I'm just a little bit of back testing. So in fact, I'll bring it in actually. So the theory is you put a buy stop above here and a sell stop below there, and then when the market opens, if it breaks above there, it'll move up. If it breaks below, these lines are just support and resistance.
Order filled.
So that broke below there. Let's see if it continues down, or it's going to go in the opposite direction. Oh, it just missed it by a couple of ticks. Chris, how you doing, buddy? So I'm just playing around with it. So the theory is these are support and resistance lines here. If it breaks below one, it'll go towards the one down there. So perhaps I put my order a little bit too low. I should have been below there. If it had been below there, it would have pushed through and hit that. This is on 3 contracts, but it's only a sim. I'm just sort of playing around with it. But I did it yesterday and it worked yesterday. I don't think it's going to today. We'll see. And that's broken above there, so it should come down. So let's see if it works. I think it may do. It's probably going to push down to that one there. It's below there. It needs to close below there. Just missed it by a couple of ticks. Yeah, the theory is you put lines there where support and resistance is, and if it breaks below one, generally it'll come down to the next one. And it did. It broke below one. It was just a little bit too... didn't quite come down enough. I should have put it a little bit lower. So a little bit higher if I put it under that line there. But it still might work yet. I'll see. So I'm just back testing this just for a month or two just to see if I have any success with it. But I did it yesterday and it worked. It's probably going to... We've clearly broken out of here, so I think it's going to at least get down to this level here, which you should push through that. I'll be surprised if it doesn't. Yeah, it's going to... If it closes below here, I expect it. And now it's off again. It's just working out the best place to put it. And what it does, you put a buy OCO, you can see the OCO above here, and a sell one. And if it hits the sell one, it cancels the buy one and vice versa. I think it's going to work. We're clearly getting some stems up here. If it's struggling to get up, it's going to come down to at least this level, I would have said. Come on. Trouble is, he does it without a stop. That kind of doesn't make sense, really. Because if you're making $200 or $300 a day, you've got to trade. You've got to trade for 10 days in a row. Now, you've got to get it right 10 times. If you get it wrong once, and it eventually, hits your... clears up all your drawdown, it's kind of useless, but we'll see. It's struggling to get below there. Let's see if it works. What's price doing here as well? There's nothing I can do here at the moment. It's clearly sideways, but we got a leg and a leg down. I think there's a good chance this is going to go down, and this is only the minute time frame. If this goes down, or the 1500 tick chart down, this will smash through that. So let's see. In fact, I'm just going to shove that to the side anyway. If it pushes through it, I'll bring it back in. Let's keep an eye on it. Okay, so H, how you doing? Akitri, how are you, bud? So yeah, I took that on. I did put an OCO order with 2 evaluations. I put a long above there and a short below, I think, there. And whichever it hits first, it cancels the opposite one, and it literally just pushed straight the way through. Triggered me order. I went for 10 contracts, 6.25 points in it, and it did it straight away. So I kind of like doing it for the news. Most of the time, it either shoots up or shoots down. On the odd occasion, it'll spike up and then come down, or vice versa. But I think most of the time it works. So that'll be another 2 PAs tomorrow, which will take me up to 9. So far, so good. Have we got some sort of a small uptrend? It's possible. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Getting them is the easy bit, keeping them is the tough bit. But I don't seem to have a problem with that at the moment. Things have just sorted themselves out. It's not stressing me out anymore. Those emotions and that panic stuff is gone. So, which is why I'm starting to build some more up now. I'm putting in for a payment tomorrow. And I'm about $1,000 away from 2 more payments on 2 accounts as well. So hopefully this year I should start to make some money. But I was looking at some of the Alpine's old videos, and it was only 8-9 months ago. He was averaging $2,000 to $6,000 a month. He was only starting to make money. So I think once you start and you manage to follow those rules, and you manage to not blow accounts, the theory is the money then should start to follow. So are we finding some support there? Marco has taken 3 winning trades already. Has he really? How do you know? How do you know? Are you in contact with him somehow, are you? Or is there a Discord or something like that? How do you know, Chris? I'm interested to know that. Let's have a look. Maybe take something. Sorry, 2. How do you know, Chris? 820. Right. Thomas Wade. Oh, he's in Thomas Wade's Discord, is he? Okay. I might join that. Can anybody join, or is it like a monthly payment? It'd be nice to be. I am a member of the other Discord, but I don't have a lot of time. But he's a trader that I do follow and do respect. So it'd be interesting. It's $35 a month, is it? Okay, I may look into that. Okay, are we going up or down? So, what is he? What story Mac had regarded those emails? Yeah, I noticed. I read a little bit of it, or listened to a little bit. I think it was it someone's wife? Someone's wife emailed him. But yeah, just on how trading works. Yeah, I mean, you can't blame Mac for that. You can't. I mean, the guy only charges $125. If someone had paid him thousands for his course, I could understand his wife being a bit peed off. But yeah, yeah, he must get loads of crap emails. It's all right. So I'm just looking at this NQ still. It's still messing around. This open range trade here. Every time it gets down here, it's turning. It did it 1, 2, 3 times there. So I don't think it's going to work, is it, today? Let's have a look. No, this is that open range one. I kind of like the idea of trading something just during the open because most of our trading isn't at the open. This is a trade specifically designed just to trade the open. Well, we use our trading doesn't really kick in till about 5 minutes after, does it? So it'd be nice to learn something, but that looks like it's going up. So that's where I got in there. That's where it triggered, and it missed it by a couple of ticks. Alpine probably would have averaged when it went up and gotten out higher. Yeah. I don't fully understand it, which is why I'm just playing around with it on a sim. There's another guy I'm watching as well that does it. The volatility trader. But what it is, the theory is, and the only reason I'm looking into this is because it would be nice to have a strategy just for the open. I like what I do with Max, but usually is the open where we keep out of it, isn't it? But it would be nice to have something. And what it is, these black lines I've put are just support and resistance lines. All I did, the easiest way to read them is just to have your line and just where we get multiple touches. And if it breaks below a support and resistance, usually then it'll come down to the next one. So you put it just below one there or just above it. This isn't going to work, is it? Clearly. That's going to hit my drawdown anytime now. The trouble is with this, you don't use a stop and you've only got to get it wrong once and that's it. It's game over, isn't it? And if you've got to rely on doing it for $200-300 every single day, you've got to do it for 10 days in a row to get a payment from Apex. You get it wrong once in those 10 days and it's game over. So I don't quite understand how they mitigate that. Missed it by a few ticks really, but that's off, I think. That's not where the stop is. I just shoved it there out of the way. But that's going to hit that drawdown, isn't it? So you have to have a stop, you know, even if it's at like $1,500 away or something. Yeah, this is going up, that's going up, so that ain't going to work, is it? If that hits $2,500. Has it gone above it? Yeah, I think it has done. No, it has. Okay, so it clearly didn't work this time around. Account gone. So I'm not in a rush. I'll look at it over a few months and just play around with it. So let's
order filled.
So right, back to what we're doing. So that's what I like. That's what I like about it is you can trade it for the first 5 minutes of the open, and then you can just carry on with this then. So we've got some news coming up in around about just under 20 minutes. So we had that push down initial from the news. That's where I took those two shorts there to pass those evaluations, and it didn't disappoint. It just smashed straight down. On the odd occasion, it'll spike in one direction and move down in the other direction. I don't quite know why it does that. If it's bad news, why would it shoot up first? But anyway, I think I had a buy order above here and a short below here, I think, and it just pushed straight through, and with that bar it passed it quick. So he's not in there all the time. Oh yeah, you mean Marco? Yeah, I like Marco. He's a nice guy. He's always helped me out ever since the first time I joined that Facebook group 3 years ago. I've never, ever, ever had a bad unfriendly comment from Marco. He's only ever been supportive and helpful for me. He's given me loads of tips and always commented on my charts when I posted them. So he's a nice guy. I got a lot of time for Marco. And I think he's a really good trader as well. I wish he'd do his bar by bar again. When you listen to him, he's very robotic in the way he talks, in his mannerisms, and I think that's a really good trait to have as a trader. But I did like his bar by bar. But I know I had a quick chat with him one night, and I think he wasn't well, and he was spending some time with his family. So I think that's why he stopped. But it does take commitment to do that all the time, and it's not easy. In fact, I think Thomas Wade only does it every other night now, doesn't he? Seems like Alpine started the day with a loss, did he? I know you said he seems to have a 10-win rate, 100%. The trouble is, so I was trading with 3 contracts then, and I think a win gives you around about $255. So if you've got an Apex, a PA account, you've got to trade it for 10 days in a row. So let's say you do one trade at the open 10 days in a row and you get to $2,500. So now they don't use a stop. So you've got to get it right 10 or 11 times in a row to hit that payout level. You've only got to get it wrong once, and that's the account blown. Now that doesn't sound like something that you're going to be able to maintain. So you have to have some sort of get out strategy if it goes too far. I mean, even if you lose $1,500, or let's say $1,250, you go halfway. At least then you got a second crack of the whip, and you've still got another 20. So he closed out manually though. So okay. Maybe I jinxed him. Maybe I did. Okay, so yeah. I'm going to say you can't just let it go. So that's something to keep in mind. I like it because it's been around for quite a few years, that type of trade. And I like the fact that it doesn't coincide with my trading. I like my strategy. I think it's effective. But if you can get something at when the market opens, that's not going to affect my strategy in the slightest, because it's the two are going to be at completely different times. The open range is in the first 5 minutes, and then for the next 3 hours or 2 to 3 hours is trading max style. So, but it's knowing whereabouts to put the order in. So I sort of had this drawn as a range. And it's finding where there's support and resistance. And if it breaks below, I think the theory is you put your order below a support and resistance line. So if price does break below it, generally it'll go to the next support resistance line. So if you get in there and you're out before it hits that. Now I was a few ticks off. If I'd have put it a little bit higher, it may have worked. In fact, maybe it wouldn't have done. I don't know. If I'd have put that there, no, it probably still wouldn't have worked. So yeah, you put a sell order below here and a buy order below here, and whichever one it hits first, it cancels the other one. So unfortunately it went down first before it went up. So maybe because it was close to price, I'd have been better off having my sell order below that line and the buy order above there. If I'd have hit the buy order above there, that one would have worked. Chris Alpine is gaming prop firm. He loses 1 PA, cost him $140, but takes $2,000 from the prop firm. 9% win rate. Yeah, I don't exactly know. He doesn't. He started giving away a little bit, but he started showing you when he's in a trade, but he doesn't show you where he enters and exits. You could probably slow it down and work it out. I would have said, but your trend lines would have protected you from that trade. Let's have a look at that again. Trend lines. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I think you have to take into consideration. So where did price open here? So we are actually moving up, aren't we? So maybe instead of putting it through. If I put it below there, which was still within these range, perhaps I should have put it below there. And if you know, we find some support and we go down, so if I'd have put it below there, that would have been the better option. And if I'd have put it above here, it would have come up, picked it up, triggered it, and cashed me out. And even if it didn't, eventually it would have done. So yeah, perhaps I should have put it below that trend line. That makes sense, doesn't it? If that support and resistance line, which it is still within this channel, isn't it? And it can just nick it, can't it? Which it did there. So that would have been the better option. Put it below there. Then if for some reason price was going to take another dive, maybe we have a leg, you know, this leg down and a few attempts to go higher. And if it gets below there, then it may go a bit lower. So yeah, that was the mistake there. But it's all right. I don't mind. It's how you learn, isn't it? But it would be lovely to have a strategy that you could trade just for the 5 minutes of the open, because it would be completely separate from this. But I like the idea of it. You're in and you're out quick. But you have to have some sort of a stop, or you have to get out at some point. Because like I say, you've only got to get it one wrong in 10. And if you just let it run until it eventually eats up all your drawdown, you've only got to get it wrong once in 10 times before you pay out, and you're kind of screwed, aren't you? So it's figuring out when to get out. If it is a 90% win rate, then even if you lose, say, half your drawdown, $1,250, you've got another half left for a second trade. But yeah, it's something worth playing around. But I believe it's success. Well, it certainly makes him a lot of money, doesn't it? So there's definitely something there. And as long as it doesn't have any conflict with mine, you know, what I don't want to be doing is spending the 2 or 3 hours learning a different strategy when I've got a perfectly good one here. But with that one, it's based on the first 5 minutes, which most of the time we don't really have anything to do with anyway, in all fairness. So, but it's nice to have that option. I think it's, as a trader, it's always good to keep your eyes and ears open. And, you know, if somebody does seem to be, because I believe when you can read these charts, you can adapt to other methods of making money. How do you set a buy order? What you do, but I'll show you on here. It's actually really simple. So if I wanted to put a buy and a sell stop above here, I right click here, click OCO order, and then I can do my buy market order there and my sell market order there. So if I put them both in, whichever one it hits first, it cancels the other one. We'll see it. We've got a leg down. So if it hits that one, it'll cancel that one. So you got the order. There we go. So it's cancelled that trade out. You see what I mean? So you got the option to either go short there or long there. So that's how it works, actually. So yeah, just OCO, and then all you've got to do then is when you're done, right click and click OCO again, so you can just toggle it on and off with the right click, and you can see there. And all that OC means is just OCO just means what does it cancel? The other one cancels the other, and that's it. So you just toggle it on and off. So toggle it on first, set your orders, and that's it. But as it's a trade for the first 5 minutes, I definitely think it's worth looking into. And I'll just play around with it for a few months on a sim until I feel like I can maybe trade it with a couple of accounts, possibly. We'll see. But what's it seems to do well at it, doesn't he? But I mean, you can't just pick things up in 5 minutes. But you know, if you've already got chart reading skills, you can pick these things up a little bit quicker. But yeah, that would have made sense. That one, Chris. Was it Chris? Was it Chris who said that, wasn't it? Yeah, below here would have been the better option. I'd have been safe then, so it would have triggered me and eventually pushed up. So going on here? Okay, we've got some news coming up in about 6.5 minutes, so I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break and make a cup of tea now, then I can carry on without it affecting me then. So, news coming up, and I'll be about 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, this news is pending in just under 2 minutes, so we got a leg and a leg. Possible overshoot there. Yeah, there's an overshoot there, so news is coming up anyway. Well, I've been scalping NQ. Most success. I monitor the trade. Since it turns against me, I close it immediately. And I don't let it turn red. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many ways to trade the market, isn't there? I definitely think there's something in this open range. It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But like I say, there's no magic bullet, is there? Okay, this news is coming up. So we've got an overshoot there and possibly a little downtrend there. So let's see. Okay, news is coming up any second now. Okay, news is out. Okay, nothing really major. You probably wouldn't even notice if you didn't see the flickering. Channel with a break after that overshoot. Are we coming down? There is a higher low there. I'm staying out of that at the moment. It might work, but I'm still staying out of it because there is a possible overshoot with a channel. Now, the reason I say it might work is that NQ to me doesn't look like we've had an overshoot. It looks like it's fitting towards to me, so it may be okay. But regardless, I'm leaving it just in case because we have got a channel. And if we have, we could get two pushes up and then a drop, and that may get taken out. In fact, there may still be a little overshoot on that NQ. It probably is, actually, if I'm honest. It's only small. It's a bit smaller, so we'll see. I'm still staying out of a long there. It may work, but we've got a push up and a push up. It could trigger above that and then... Oh, right, okay, so it worked. Still risky, in my opinion, after that. You've just got to let it go. Okay, we can get rid of that now. So, what would you have got? So, yeah, I think you'd have got 2 points out of that. Just... So, channel down, leg and a leg. You took the fail second entry. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it because of this. Now, sometimes with an overshoot, we'll get a channel with a break, and sometimes it'll give you a long and it'll trigger and work its way down and make a new low because of the overshoot. We could also get a correction. We could have a leg and a leg, or we could have a full-out reversal. And if you look at that, see, we clearly got some support there. So I won't be surprised if this comes down below there. I have that channel down tighter. You on about that channel there? Yeah, I'm not too bothered whether that's tighter or not, to be honest with you. It's still made a low even. Is that the channel you're on about? Or you're on about this one? See, for me, that's an overshoot with a channel, so I expect this to make a new low, which is why I didn't take that, because you'd have got stuck. You just got 2 points out of it, but that's why I left it, because I expect this to come down and break below there with a break. You've got that one with a break. Yeah, see, to me, it's not a channel without 3 touches. Before my back at the trend line. Are you on about something like that, are you? You on about that, are you, bud? With a break? Yeah. Possibly, yeah, possibly. The reason I've put that there is because of the overshoot, what I think is an overshoot. In a lot of cases, we'll have a channel with a break, it'll trap some longs and come down. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? That's the trouble with trading. There's so many little personal thoughts and feelings that go into it. The reason I like it is because we've got a touch, and a touch, and a touch, and a touch, and a few touches there and one there, which is why I like it. So I think this is going to come down and break below there. Having said that, the NQ is telling a slightly different story. Maybe it's not. But yeah, I have to assume that's an overshoot, in which case a lot of the times after an overshoot, it will push up, make a new high, and then come down. So I think that's coming down, I do. And that's just proved me wrong. So maybe it's just a bit of a correction. I don't quite know, really. I still like to see price break there. I don't think it's going to, but yeah, I see what you're saying. You could have a leg and a leg. It's possible. I mean, the bit that's stopping me from going long is that possible overshoot, because a lot of the times after an overshoot, we'll push up and then come down. Still have a gap to fill from yesterday's close, yeah. I think it's likely probably that we may get up to that level. I think there's a good chance. So maybe we just got a bit of a correction and another leg up. I'd still like it to come down. I'll need this to flush down. So maybe we get something like that, which is going to take us up to this level. I need this to flush down. Let's see, we got an overshoot there. So a possible triple test short. Although I like triple tests, a triple test short in an uptrend is a bit beyond my skill level. It's not something I've done a lot of. But what I will say with that overshoot, push up, let's see how this finishes. Okay. So there's a higher low there. I think that is a risky trade. One, because we're into the highs. I'd like to see that trigger and come down, but I think we've gone too far anyway. So channel down, one attempt higher, second attempt higher, failure, drop. Are we going to get that though? Come on down. Channel down. One attempt high, second attempt high. I need this to fail. I'd like it to fail. Down. Come on. Now push. Come on. Hey, Brody, how you doing, buddy? You notice the double top. Tick, not easy to read today. No, it's not. See, after this, after that overshoot, I need this to come back down. Channel down. One attempt to go high, second attempt to go high, failure, push through the EMA. So this now, I expect to come down to this line, possibly break below there. Because of that overshoot. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure. When that push below that EMA, that for me now is coming down here. I'd like it to break below there. I was looking for a lower high there. I was considering doing that, but what I think and what's going to happen, I think this is what I think I'm looking at, but I'm not confident enough to trade it. But that overshoot for me, with two attempts high, it's got to come down and break below there. Let's get rid of that for now. So what I'm looking for is something along the lines of that. Okay, so that's played out. So channel down, two attempts higher, and a drop down there. I was looking for a lower high there, but although I'm pretty sure I know what's going on, it's more of a gut feeling, just a bit of, just this maybe experience and just knowing where it tends to go, but I'm not quite confident yet in trading it. Channel down, two legs up, break low. So couple of legs up, retest this line, now start to work down. So we may have a leg and a leg. We're clearly finding some support there. I like the way we closed above that. That tells me this is a range. We closed above that. We're likely to break below this line as well. So a couple of legs up and then start to work down. I think we're done with up for now. second entry short from here would be nice. Overshoot and a small break and a new high by a tick, I think that was. Or was it there, matching high? But we had 3 attempts. So small channel break, new high, nothing we can really do here at the moment. It's just going sideways. So there is a possibility of a leg up and another leg up to get us up to this level. We've kind of got a channel up, 2 attempts to go lower, so this could push up higher. Let's put that back. So, maybe something like that. Excuse me. Shorted up for 6 ticks, that one there. Yeah, I'm just not sure what's going on here at the moment. Apart from we're going sideways, I'm not sure whether we're going up. I think there's a chance we can do. To me, it looks like we're going to recover the majority of this, so that would probably get us up to this level. And with that overshoot, in all fairness, after an overshoot, we could have a correction. That, to me, looks like a nice correction. So that's probably not a bad trade, actually, that one. But it's 15 ticks, so it's risky. Leg breakdown. We've come close to the bottom and pushed up, so I wouldn't take it. But I don't know. To me, it looks like after that push up, we got 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, and now I think there's a chance, a good chance that we're going to sort of work up to this level here. And whether we do it now or whether we do it from the bottom, but I looked at that range and got a set up a key entry point, but I won't be surprised if it goes higher. Yeah, I mean that. I mean, it may work from there, but it might just be nothing. We just pull. It might just be a little bit of a pullback before it comes down there. But just from what I'm seeing here, it looks like we've had that overshoot. Now, overshoots, sometimes you'll get a full-out reversal, sometimes you'll get a correction, and it'll continue higher. This looks more like a correction to me. 2 legs, and it rocketed straight off there. So I would say we'll probably have 2 legs up there, leg and a leg, and after that big push down from the news, it's recovering it. And you know, a lot of times it's weird, isn't it? Sometimes we'll get that big drop and it'll recover it really quickly. Other times it'll recover a little bit and then start to work down, and you'll get a bigger overall trend. I don't quite know why. Well, I don't know. It's some sort of sentiment in it, but I think there's more of a chance from what I'm seeing after we've had this overshoot. There's no rush to drop. We came down here, pushed up. We came down here, pushed up. So I think this is, for me, likely to be the next level, I think, which should recover all that drop. And then after that, there may be another leg up, which should probably get us up to above the highs of the day. But you don't know whether it's that'll hold or it push up. But Amazon earnings, it closed the bell. And the day probably Alpine looking to trade, is it really? Yeah. Fair dues to that guy. It's a shame. I wish he'd be a little more open. I think what he's done is he's realised there's a couple of people. There's Kellyanne and the volatility trader. Now the volatility trader trades that same setup, and he shows you his entrance and exits. Now I don't think he's been doing it that long, and Kellyanne has she's trying to sort of figure out. So what I think he's done, he's realised that there are some people out there showing the setup, and I think he's thinking I've either got to be a little bit more open with it, or some of my viewers are going to start watching them. So he shows you the trade now, but he doesn't show you his entry and exit. I don't know why. The only thing I can say is if he thinks Apex may have an issue with it, he's earning a lot of money. Like he says, he still can't believe he's earning that money. And when all of a sudden you go from earning money like that, you must worry about losing it. So I think he's probably getting a bit paranoid, thinking Apex may say, "Well, we don't want you." I can't. How can Apex say we don't want you trading that anymore? Why? Because it's a profitable strategy. There's no way they can say that. But I understand he's probably feeling a little bit paranoid. I think I would as well if I started earning. If I earned $200,000 in the first 4 of the months, I'd be scared shitless of losing it. So, but I think there are a couple of other people that are, he's obviously caused a little bit of a stir, and there's he's caused the conversation, hasn't he? You see people earning money like that straight away, it pricks up ears, doesn't it? So, I think he's probably realised that he's going to have to start showing people something, otherwise he may lose some of his viewers, to some of the other people that are trading the same strategy. I just wish he'd show his entries and exits. But Apex can't have a problem with that, surely. You can't all of a sudden, when a guy has a certain strategy that he does really well at, you can't all of a sudden ban that strategy. That's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. The Apex would collapse, really, if as soon as people start to make money, they decide to say, "Oh, you can't trade that way." No, that wouldn't happen. They'd be committing suicide. Apex, that is. Okay, so leg. Is this like 3 attempts to go lower? So is this a place to go long? Yeah, I'm very cautious with this type of trade. I'm not particularly good at it. We have made multiple attempts to push high and we haven't. So I think if you're going to take something here, it's going to be after a couple of legs down, and it's got to trap some shorts, I think. Those trades up there, the shorts, for instance, that one, seem to react much better when they trigger above a long. I'm not saying that was necessarily a good setup, but you know what I'm saying. Same with that one there. We pushed up. We had a long trade there. People are thinking, oh, there's a failure there. We're pushing up to these levels. And what happens? You jumped in there, it triggered you, came back down, stopped you out. Had another go at it, but you wouldn't have lost your stop. So I'm guessing if Marco's taken trades, they're probably going to be off this bottom line somewhere, aren't they? Maybe something like that. Back to the EMA, maybe somewhere around about there. I don't know, actually. I doubt we'd have traded that because we've got the news coming on. Maybe that one. It's a bit early, isn't it? But no, sometimes trading early, you do find the odd setup. The issue is when I get into a trade when it's that slow, I start to lose confidence. Okay, so overshoot, a few attempts to go higher and then down. So leg. Oh, incidentally, last day on that 80% off today. We'll get something new tomorrow. I'm guessing it'll probably be the 71%. I just hope they keep this one day. I kind of like it, actually. Once you start to get some PAs, it's good to have it, I think, although it does make it a little bit more risky. I certainly blow way more than I win. But I think from now on, I'm going to start trading this news with my evaluations from now. I think there's a 50-50, maybe a 70-50 chance, 75-25 chance of you winning it if you do it in an OCO order. And at least on the flip side of it, you're in and out and you're done. Not everyone might agree with it, which I get. But I do like the chance that you get a bit of news, and that one I got in there, short there, long up there, wham, in and out. So I do like those OCO orders. They do have their benefits. It gives you the opposite. Because what I started thinking about trading the news, I thought I'm going to have an account going long, an account going short. One of them will lose. But the OCO, you can only need the one, just the one account or the one evaluation. Long up here, short down here. Didn't touch the long, touch the short as it clashed with the short. Cancel the long and in and out. Bitcoin seems to be struggling lately, doesn't it? It just doesn't sit at that 74,000, and we just struggled ever since. It's at 60,000 now, 61,000. Solana's down, well, $128. It was $200 not long ago. What happened to the bull run? Someone mentioned to me yesterday that Wilson's back. I'm not sure, I've not heard anything. I was hoping we may get a short. We've had this channel down. Second entry short there. It's a bit far from the EMA for me, but we haven't even managed to pull back here, have we? There is a lower high there. Now, I wouldn't take that, but this looks like it's coming down, but it's too far from the MA for me, so that's risky. I'd like that to push up there, take out that stop, and then bounce off the midline. There we go. Get up a bit higher. And then take it as a fell break out the range. We haven't made a new low yet. So, leg and a leg on that NQ. Let's see how this forms. Let's just get an order ready, just
Order
in case
submitted.
this form's nice. No good, unfortunately.
Order cancelled.
Nothing I can do, unfortunately. We got a little channel there. I don't mind it testing this. How you doing, bud? Volatility trade and open trade today was a bit of bottom tick, but happened sucked. I actually had a go at it myself, actually, and I'll show you. Yeah, what I did. I'm assuming the theory is use support and resistance lines, which I've drawn there, and if it breaks above, say, this one, generally then doesn't it go to this next one? So I think, let me have a look, where did I get in? Oh, forget that. I was, I think what I did is I put a short below that line and a long above there, and it dropped, triggered me, didn't push down. So I think what I should have done is, I think someone reminded me, you've got to obviously pay attention to the channel as well. We're in a channel, so rather than putting it below that support and resistance line, that would have made sense below there. And if I would have put it by there, it would have come down, kept within this channel, pushed up, triggered me above here, and eventually either made the points there or there. But the thing is, I think it's, see, I trade max price action, as I mentioned the other night. So we generally avoid the open. So this is a brilliant strategy to trade the open, so it's not going to affect my normal day. But you know, you got to play around with it. But you've got to have some sort of exit strategy if things go tits up, haven't you? I think. That's right. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? See, I think what's happened is the Alpine guy's been making some money at it, hasn't he? He's been doing really well, so obviously people are talking, aren't they? And then I noticed Kellyanne had started looking into it, and she mentioned that you did it, and that's why I come to you. And I think because you show your entries, I think Alpine Trader guy is going, okay, I think I'm going to have to start showing something now, otherwise I'm going to start to lose viewers. So he's showing the trade, but he's not showing his entry and exit. But I do think it's a useful tool. Yeah, it is. I think he's realising he's going to start to lose a load of his subscribers, otherwise they're going to come to you. Because people know how lucrative it is. You know, fair dues, obviously they've been watching him, he's doing really well out of it. But, you know, I've heard him mention a couple of times that he's concerned that Apex will stop it. How the hell can Apex stop it? They can't, you know, see a strategy that works and makes people money and say, sorry, we don't allow that from now on. That can't work, can it? But I mentioned earlier, I was talking about you earlier, I said he's obviously a little bit paranoid, because if we all started earning $200,000 in the first 4 months, I'd be shitting myself and worried about losing it. So perhaps he's just getting a little bit paranoid that Apex won't like it. But how the hell can Apex stop someone who's doing a legitimate strategy and making money out of it? But no, I like your videos, bud. I think you should carry on. And you're probably going to take some of his viewers, I think, unless he starts to show you where his entrance. Yeah. I get him being a bit paranoid about it. I probably would myself. You know, he did say, I've heard him say a couple of times, he still can't believe he's making that sort of money. And when you start making that money, I think it goes without saying. See, most of us people who are broke worry about getting money, and the people with money worry about losing it. So, you know, if you start making a ton of money, you think life's going to get easy, but then you got to worry about losing it, haven't you? I was trying to take that, but yeah. Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, you know, as streamers, why do I stream? Why did I start streaming? I started streaming a little over a year ago because, first and foremost, I wanted to hook up with other traders. When I first started trading currency 3.5 years ago, the British trader that I learned from, who used to work in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s, said to me, surround yourself, you know, with other traders and you learn from them. And that's what I started to do. And because it made me accountable. If people are watching you, you're less likely to do something stupid. But ultimately, you know, people want to get some value by watching you. And not only that, if they're using your affiliate code, the streamer's making bits of commission, so, you know, it's only fair. You've got to give something back. But if you're saying to people, I'm making 200 grand in the first 4 months, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it, people are going to go elsewhere, aren't they? He shouldn't be buying a Porsche. Yeah, I'm just thinking, if he's earned 200,000, that Porsche, he's obviously got to pay tax on that. That Porsche can't be cheap, can it? I don't know how much Porsches are in the US, but it's got to be 100,000 plus that, isn't it? But, you know, good luck to him. You know, I like hearing about people doing well, but, you know, he's got to start showing people his strategy. Otherwise, they're just going to move somewhere else, aren't they? But I enjoy your videos. I was watching one of your videos last night because I'm trying to learn how to do it myself because, you know, as I say, my strategy, max price action, we tend to avoid the first 5 minutes of the market because, you know, obviously the volatility, but it's an ideal setup for us to use, really, because while we sit here and watch, if there is a strategy that works, but you've got to have some sort of exit strategy, haven't you? Because I let that trade go. Now, it was only on a sim, but it ended up getting out here, so I think it went up to about $2,800, so it would have, you know, if I'd have had a PA account, it would have stitched me up. I'd have ended up losing it. With yours, not a bunch of them. I'm getting better. My skill level is okay, but I still kept blowing accounts with the emotional side. But over the last 5 weeks, things have changed. So I had about $10,000 in payments last year. I've 2 this year so far. I had 1 last month. I've got another one which is passed now, but I'm starting to build. I've never had more than sort of 3 or 4 accounts. But now I'm managing to not let those emotions get the better of me. I'm starting to build up. So it feels like I'm about sort of pulling myself out the crater now, so to speak. So I'm moving up on the ladder. But I mean, he's earning life-changing money. You can't earn money like that and it doesn't affect you, can you? I'd love, you know, if I could earn realistically $10,000 a month, I'd be happy. But don't get me wrong, I'd certainly like to earn more. But with the likes of Apex, you know, we've got a real opportunity with Apex because let's face it, if we didn't have the prop firms, half of us would be screwed because I haven't got the sort of money to put into my own account. But you know, but nah, good for you, mate. Good for you. You're doing all right. Who's the other guy you traded? You traded with another guy. I saw you chat with another guy the other night. Another question I wanted to ask as well. That Kellyanne, is that a photo of her or not? In my head, it is. But if it is a picture of her, she's really fit, isn't she? I like to think it is, but the trouble is, it could be anything. I've got a picture of a guy on my thumbnail, but it ain't me. But yeah, she's a nice girl, actually. She's all right, quite a bubbly girl. Let's have a look what's going on here. So, leg up. We're going to have a second entry long off here to push higher. I think we may do. Let's have a look. There is like a hidden second entry long there, but I don't like that. So, in fact, there is a possibility that we could have had a break from that. I'm going to assume we have. Let's have a look. So, So, yeah, if anybody doesn't know, the guy that's chatting here, Volatility Trader, he's got a YouTube channel as well, where he's been trading the same strategy as the Alpine guy. So if anybody's interested in watching that, go and have a look. He's got some really good videos on there. So definitely worth a look. So this looks like it's coming down, doesn't it? What is going on here? Lower high there, but I can't go short into all that. So channel break, new high, leg. Are we going to push up? In fact, I could have just, yeah. I'm just not sure about this because there's also a bit of a range there. So we've pushed back into the range. Maybe we have 2 legs back and bounce off here. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? So I couldn't tell you where I think we're going at the moment. Yeah, it's not easy to read today, is it? Yeah, you're right, bud. No idea. She sounds the part. She does, yeah. She's got a lovely picture on there. I hope that's her. It is in my head, put it that way. But yeah. It's nice to see some... it's nice to chat to some other streamers, actually. I do chat with a few. Sam I chat to from 5Trader. Bart as well a few times. He's another nice guy. He's a lovely guy. Wilson as well. There's quite a few of us out there. And who's the other guy? Travis. I've chatted with him a few times. What's it's doing well, isn't he? Patrick Welland. I like what he does. He's got 20 accounts at the moment with $10,000 in each, well above the 50,000. So, and he takes a payment. It's a sensible way of doing it, that is. But it's having that discipline to not take any payments and get up to that level. And that's the bit. That's the bit that I'd be stuck with. Yeah, anytime, mate. Anytime. Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yeah. The thing I like about chat with other traders as well, there's no competition, is there? You know, it's not like you're taking some of my business, you're taking some of the money from the market that I'm not getting. So there's no competition there. So I kind of like the fact. I chat with people all the time. You get emails and messages from people and other streamers and other traders, morning, noon and night. But I love it, I do. It's nice. What was this? Levels and try to base? Yeah, I absolutely get the principle. When I first started trading currency, first thing we'd do in the morning is put the line chart, and then straight away we'd find these areas of support and resistance where it was, you know, sort of hitting multiple times. Obviously there's one there and there's one up there. But it makes sense. If it gets through this level, chances are it'll move to the next level and so on and so forth. But yeah, I get the principle. And when you can trade, picking up these other setups are a lot easier than when you're a complete novice, because if you understand how the markets are moving and how the markets work, you took that failure, that one there. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that one there personally, just because there's some support there. It doesn't mean it wasn't going to work. You trade a bounce off support and let it break supports. Are you on about this, the open range? I think the theory is it's drawing these support and resistance lines. Now, from what I gather, if price breaks this area, this support and resistance, it'll make an attempt to get to this one, and it broke it there. It came back and then went and broke that one. So I think the theory is you put a short below a support area and along above it, and if it breaks below and picks up that short, it cancels along, and the theory is then you're in it there and out of it there before the next one. That's the theory. But yeah, the open range. So my mistake there, that was the entry. I put it below this one, but I didn't take into consideration we got a clear channel. So what I should have done was put the order below that next line of support and resistance, which was here, I would have been safe then. If I'd have put it above there, I'd have been in and out the trade. And even if I wasn't, it would have come back and eventually pushed higher anyway. The idea today was 820 with support. 820, yeah. I absolutely agree with that one. That's the 820 there. If I'd have put a short below there, it would have been safe. I put it below that one, which was still within that channel, which was just too far up. Typically, yeah. But it's a great strategy. It really is. And let's face it, Alpine guy makes it look easy. But yeah, that's the thing. What I should have done is realised. I think you're still got to be aware of what the market's doing, and in that case, you could see it holding on that line. So below there would have been the safest place, and above there for the long, which would have worked. But the trouble is, if you have some sort of stop or some sort of get out clause, if you say, I was trading it with 3 contracts, so that's about, say, $260, somewhere around there. So if you hit that 10 days in a row, you get to payout level. If you fail once and you let it hit your drawdown, it kind of blows the whole account. So even if you have a get out stop at half of your half of your drawdown, say $1,250, at least then you've still got the other half left for the next day. So you've effectively got another crack of the whip. And hopefully you get in there. But yeah, I think it's a good strategy. It's something I'm just going to play around with and back test it for a few months and see if I can figure out how to do it. But he did have one bad losing day, didn't he? The Alpine guy, maybe a few weeks ago. I think he lost $26,000 in a day, which to us mere mortals would be throwing ourselves off the nearest bridge. My experience thus far, the trade is 90% win rate. Wow. You only need 8 days happens. So, yeah, so I mean what I love about it is you're in and out. Whereas with this strategy, don't get me wrong, I love this strategy. This is my bread and butter. But I sat here for 3 hours yesterday and didn't take a trade. So I love the fact that will incorporate beautifully into my day. You're in and out. But yeah, I mean, even if if you've had 20 accounts and you traded 5 at a time at the end of the stream, 16k today, did he really? Oh, wow. So it's definitely worth back testing, isn't it? And playing around with it on a sim. My days not stream would be over at 9:30. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be nice? In and out, and you're done. I bet there's not many traders that could trade 5 minutes a day. And make a stink load of money. No, good. Are you still trading now, are you, bud? Or are you done? But yeah, I'm going to start doing it on here, just play around with it. Because that's the beauty is it doesn't matter if I trade it and someone else does. It's not going to affect them, And you're done, are you? Good on you. Good on you. You got little kids as well, haven't you? I think I saw. I think you was. Did you do a video showing your setup? And I think I saw kids' toys around there. So you ought to. That's the thing about working from home, isn't it? You get extra time. I mean, mine's sort of a bit. I say grown up now. Mine's 15. So it is nice to have the ability to work from home, isn't it? It is so nice. There's nothing worse than going out at 6 or 7 o'clock on a cold, dark morning. I do love it, I got to say. Yeah, it's great when you can start to do it, and with some money from affiliate links and the bits I make with trading. I've done the odd weekend of work, but yeah, in the week I just do this. I get up in the morning. Daughter to school, go to the gym, do a bit of shopping, maybe a few things around the house, and that's it. And that's the beauty about being in the UK, because I don't need to trade till 2:30. So that's a great life, really, isn't it? But yeah, so we got a channel down there. Gonna eat lunch. Yeah, you too, bud. Thanks for coming in and having a chat with us. Yeah, good for you, mate. Good for you. Yeah, it's nice to have some other people in, some other streamers. There's nice people out there, actually. So if anybody doesn't know Volatility Trading, he's got a YouTube channel, and in fact, I'll show you. And he trades that open range exactly the same as Alpine. So he's definitely worth. I'll find this video now. Definitely worth a look at. I'll find one of his videos. I was watching some last night. There we go. Ah, here we go. There we go. Yeah, so that's in there. So definitely worth a look. But he trades the open range, same as the Alpine guy. So yeah, go and have a look. I've been watching him in the evenings. But great addition to our strategy. So nice to just get in and take a trade in the first couple of minutes, and then you can carry on with your normal day. Obviously easier said than done. No strategies, pick up in 2 minutes, but the beauty is you're already here anyway, and we don't tend to do a lot before the open, so it's easy to have the time to do it. So yeah, absolutely. So channel break, new low. We've got support down here. Are we going to push up? On to say. New low. So I'll be looking for a higher low up towards this level here. In fact, I'm going to bring that down now. Okay, so channel break. It's very tempting that, but I'm going to wait for the higher low. Maybe there's a larger channel there. Touch, touch, touch. Let's keep that a bit tighter. It's a bit hard to read today. Okay, so clearly a range day, really. Touch, touch, touch. Okay. Maybe we got a leg and a leg. Okay, there is a bit of support there. Maybe a bit through there as well. So maybe an overshoot. So I wouldn't be surprised. We push back up. What are you doing, boy? So we got an overshoot. So 1, 2 legs down. Let's put that back. It's a tough day so far. Quite a lot of chop, isn't there? And then you didn't know it was going to just do that. It's not going to be easy today, is it? Okay, let's see what happens here. It's quite hard to read today. When we recovered this, I didn't quite expect this drop. I thought we were just going to end up ranging, but whether we're going to push back in or whether we're going to bounce and move down a little bit. There may be like a little sort of two-tiered channel there. I kind of think there is actually. I actually really like that. It's a nice two-tiered channel. You can clearly see it working this one tier, then we drop below this and we're working nice in here. So we get two legs up. We may come down and retest this. leg, and then down, possibly. Maybe retest this. I don't know. I'm not sure. Possible lower high. It's just too congested. Nothing I can do there, unfortunately. It's just stuck in the middle of this. It could trigger and trigger the trade and stop you out. I think that's risky personally, so I'm staying out of it. It is a lower high, but it's completely sideways here. We've got a leg. It almost looks like a bit of a bull flag. We've got a leg up sideways. Yeah, leg up sideways. Often it'll do that, trigger it and stop it out, pick out a small thing. I know because you guys have seen me take trades like that many times in the past. What I've found as well, there's a couple of times I've taken second entries very close to this initial one that triggered me and stopped me out. I always like to map a little bit further apart than that. Now, it may work and it may just rock it down, but it's congested, so it does make it that little bit more risky. It doesn't mean it isn't going to work, but regardless of whether it'll work or not, it's too risky for me. Because we got a leg up and sideways, we could make another leg. We could have two pushes up and then slowly work down. We could end up trying to test this area up here. So if you're in that trade now, risky. Inside bar, that green one. So yeah. Yeah, it is. Inside bar from there. I mean, it may work, but it's irrelevant, really. There's actually a failure there, but a failure for me is better off if it traps some bowls, and that to me is not... I'm just sitting tight at the minute. What I want really is another leg up there, and then it start to work down. Tempting, but I'm sitting tight here again. Depending on if it is going to push up there, it could break out of here and fail. I'm a bit on the fence here, and if I'm on the fence, I'm not sure, so I'm just going to sit tight. But it may work, but I think that's risky. That is not what you want to see when you go short there. Both of those could get stopped out. I have a feeling that might be the safer one. Cool, skin of your teeth. Could get a leg and a leg. I'm kind of thinking that bull flag tends to just stay there really and push up. That's actually dropped out the bottom, so I would have thought that one will be vulnerable. That one, it's hard to say. Depends. If it's going up, obviously no, not, but sometimes it'll come back up, pick up a couple of weak positions before it drops. But that when you take a trade like that and it goes down a tick or two and starts to come back, that's not what you want to see. I think 8 times out of 10, if that happens, that stock will get taken out of. On the rare occasion, it might not. Sometimes an extra tick saves you. It has done in the past. So it's sometimes you'll get lucky. Other times it'll tick you out. Sometimes it'll push straight up. I'd be inclined, if I was in that, to give it an extra tick. Whether it'll work or not, I don't know. It hasn't anyway, but it's just a weak position, that is, pushed up sideways. Let's see if that one holds. It may do. It may even hold to get out for break even. It's hard to say. We may get a leg and a leg. If I was in that, you're probably out anyway if you are in that. Once it starts to do that, you may be deciding to get out of it. So if you got in there, you're out for 2 points anyway, so chances are you're out. So let's have a look. So we've got a channel down with a break. If we get a lower high from here, that might not be a bad option. At least then we've had 2 clear attempts to go higher. But I'm not just taking that one. It's got to be a lower high, as in we're starting to work down, that type of play. Lower high from here, then I think there's a good chance we go down. So there may be something there. It's only a possibility. Channel down, first break. I want something a lower high, giving me a second entry short after this. Second entry short there. Trap in some longs. Stroke lower high. Not sure if we could get a push in a push.
Order submitted.
Don't get down anymore. Come on, get me.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order filled.
Beautiful. I wanted to get out at the body, so I just took 1.75 points there. I didn't want to be too greedy. But it's clearly we leg down, one attempt to go higher. We got a leg down, a break, trapping some longs there, second entry long, and it pushed up, just looking really nice. Excuse me, just a sec. Sorry about that. My father-in-law's in hospital. He's had a small stroke, so wife's flitting backwards and forwards to the hospital at the moment. Okay, so let me have a look. What did I get there? 1.7. I could have got a little bit more, but for some reason I always like to get out there no lower than that for some reason. So many times it'll touch there but not break there. In this case, it was irrelevant really. After that big push down, it struggled one to time. I mean, there was a triple test there. I always hold now because sometimes you'll get stopped out and it'll end up going exactly the way, but then you've got that lower high there and you're trapping longs. We've pushed up. It looks like there's a second entry long there which triggered, and I had to follow it a bit. And I didn't mind following it because I thought it was going to push down quite quick, and it did. It didn't come back. So if I'd have just dropped my order there, it probably wouldn't have picked it up. So I followed it a couple of ticks and got in there in the end for 1.75 points. So I'm more than happy with that. 7 ticks anyway. So let's call that a second entry short, stroke lower high. All right, and we go 0.75 points. Let's get rid of the M. Okay. So it does look like we may be getting we've made the lows anyway, so whether we push back up and now or not, I don't know. But let me just start and look at this. Touch, 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 touch. Maybe there is a bigger channel there. It's a bit early, really, but it was actually from yesterday's, not highs, just it was a little bit before the close. Touch. So we've got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. That's quite nice, actually. And it fits nice at the bottom. So there is a possibility. So perhaps after that initial push down and maybe an attempt to push back up, we eventually dropped. So maybe there is a downtrend of, of some sort. Just to be aware, to be aware of. We'll see. Anybody else take that by any chance today? You've all gone quiet. You missed it, did you? Yeah, it went quick actually. Where did I actually get in? A couple of ticks below, maybe a bit more actually. I had to follow it a little bit. It wasn't too bad. I got an extra tick, so I got on a tick lower. I tried Malta, never got filled. Yeah, I think that's when limit orders are useful. But it did move quick, didn't it? But in all honesty, though, if you did get in it, that's how you want your trades to work, in one push. But there's going to be some longs in there, push up, maybe some there as that pushes up. So there's probably going to be some long stops there, some there, and when that push down through any of those, I think then. But yeah, I could have held on for a little bit more, but sometimes I tend to use my gut feeling on when to get out. And I've noticed a lot of times it'll break a tick or so below them, but not always to the bottom. So I tend to get a feeling. But yeah, it did move pretty quick, didn't it? Sometimes they're really good trades do. They don't give you a lot of chance to get in. So can I adjust that? Let's see, why not? So I'm just a bit careful here. It does look like it's working down there. But after that, we've had a break in a new low. So it could continue down, but it may not. We may get a leg and a leg. Yeah, so you'll notice one of my PAs down there wasn't traded today. That's the one that's passed. That's a little over $2,600, that one. So that's, excuse me, that's one that's going to, I'm going to take a payment out of. Otherwise, I'd have traded it. At some point, I might continue to trade them, but initially, I'd rather take the payment and then just reduce it to a contract and then just sort of let it run quietly in the background. But there'll be two more PAs added towards that, those ones I traded earlier on the news. So they'll be added, which will take me up to 9. Hopefully, if they authorise that and will remove the amount quickly from there, I can get on and start to trade that one as well. So no setup there, unfortunately. I didn't like the one push up. We could have had a break and a push up. There's also a little bit of sideways there as well. I noticed that there, so there is a possibility we could have tried to come back up here, which is why I didn't want to take anything short there. We never had a setup anyway, but we got a leg. There's always a possibility it's going to trigger and come up and do this, because it is quite sideways a little bit as well. But I was waiting on the second entry there. It never happened there. Yeah. I always get a bit nervous when we have a push up like this and we have a bit of a break. There, I'm not too bad, but when we just have a push up and it just turns and comes down, that makes me a bit nervous. That. But the trouble is, you don't know it's going to do that. That's the thing. But we do seem to be from here, finding a bit of a channel there. It looks the same on the NQ as well, so it's another reason why I'm quite happy to let it stand. So. Excuse me. Okay. 2 pushes up, possible secondary short, just way too far from that EMA for me. May work, but I'm not interested in that. Could trigger you and come up to here, so and that's if it forms. But there's always a possibility as well that may have had a small overshoot. I don't know whether it is. Just not sure. Let's see how this forms. It's definitely on the side of bearish, but I'm not getting involved in that. It's not as nice as I'd like, and it's a million miles from that EMA. possible triple test forming. My only slight concern is we've still got this vacant space here. And it's a bit congested, mind you. If you get a triple test off and it is congested, but it's so close to these lows. So I'm just staying out of this, unfortunately. It may come down. It probably will. But it's 3 points and it ain't finished yet. Tick above, tick below. I'm just not risking $350 on that when it's so close to those lows. Not only that, on that NQ, it's if we're coming down to this level once, twice, like a triple bottom. So I think this is risky. It may work, but look how close the bottom is, and it's no space. There's nothing there, so there's nothing I could do there, unfortunately. I do like these triple tests, but if it was up here somewhere and that bar was sticking out the top and closing below there, then I'd be interested in that. But we've hit that 3 levels now, and same on the NQ almost. So it didn't trigger anyway. In fact, I'm going to knock on the head there, actually, folks. I'm up a nice trade, and I'm up $1,000 over my 6 accounts. The 7th isn't trading at the moment. I'll be putting in for a payment there. 2 more evaluations, which I passed earlier with the news, so they'll be going PA tomorrow, which will take me up to 9. So I'm slowly starting to get them up now. Let's see if that does work. So yeah, it's slow and it's grinding now. So I always like to just one trade I'm happy with. If I can get one trade on 3 days and wait for good setup, so you can get a nice win rate on that and earn plenty of money, in all fairness. So that's it for today, folks. It is the 1st tomorrow, so don't forget that 80% off finishes. I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern time, I think. So any evaluations passed today or hit the target today will go on to PA tomorrow. If you have picked one up or today and you don't pass it today, it's fine. You've still got the 80% off, but it'd be interesting to see what we get for tomorrow. I'm guessing possibly something like the 71%, but hopefully they keep the 1%, the 1 day pass, because it is useful if you can get in and out on the news. So I appreciate your comments. It was nice to have Volatility Trader in today and have a chat with him about this open range trade, something I might try and incorporate into the first few minutes of the market. But just something I'll trade on a separate chart. This is obviously my main bread and butter. So look, if you're carrying on trading, best of luck to you. I hope you get a nice setup. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and I'll be back again same time tomorrow, and we'll do it all again. So bye for now.